This is a demo of a example final project. I took my Battling Reindeer racing game and I took all of the game components out of the program and put them into a race game class. And so what I've left in the main program is the scenario, which is going to be different for every game, and then some of the prompts that we actually need to get the race going. So I've left in a prompt for how many are racing, and I had to add one for how far they are racing. Because now the number of racers and the distance or the ending point are all part of the class. And so is the name array, the position array, and the display character array. Those are all part of the class. The Boolean that is going to be true when there's a winner, the number of the winner, and then the number of rounds are all part of the class. And I did make the number of rounds static because in the main program, if I wanted to create multiple objects, I would want the number of rounds to accumulate in a single property rather than have duplicate ones. So in the main program, we do need to know how many are racing, because that affects the size. And then we also need to know what the endpoint is. So I'm getting those two pieces of numbers, and you can see that I've got my object, my class object that I created, dot, and size is now a property, and I'm setting that equal to number. And then I get how far they're racing, and I set the ending point equal to the miles in this case. And now that I have the size, I can go ahead and instantiate my arrays. So how I had to create the arrays over in the class is I made them nullable because I don't know what the size is, because the objects haven't been created. So they are nullable. And then in the default constructor, I actually set them equal to null. And then once I know the size over in the program, I can instantiate them, and I will be able to store information in them. Okay, so after I instantiate the three arrays, I basically have everything I need to get the game going. So I call add names, which is now part of the class. Used to be a static method, but I decided that anything that had to do with the race should be part of the class because the whole purpose of creating a class is so other people can use it. So I made add names a method. So instead of being a static class, this is now a public method. And before I was adding the names and the display character at the same time, and now I do it separately. So here we are just dealing with the names, but the logic is basically the same. So I didn't really have to change the loop. I think I had a lowercase n in here before because it was a variable, and now it's a public property. So I had to change to uppercase, but not a lot changed there. So basically we fill in the name and we validate and make sure that it's, that they've entered something and it's not empty. Then once we're done filling in that array, it says the contestants have been registered. So we go back and then we call add display character. Okay, so it's going to run through this. And again, I did change the name So it didn't used to be called, display character. At least the array didn't. So I had to make a couple adjustments in here, but um, the main logic is the same, and I'm still doing the validation on what they're entering. Okay, and as long as it's not null or space, whatever character they enter is fine. Okay, and so once that all gets entered, then we are ready to begin our race. So I get the random object, okay, and then I have a very little while loop, and I did choose to do a while loop. There's no point in doing a menu with this. It makes absolutely no sense. So it is a game, and it's going to stay in the loop until somebody wins. So first thing we do is we call the print round method. And this looks very similar to what it looked like before, except for now it's a public method. It used to be static. Okay, so you can see I'm adding to my rounds property and I'm printing it out. Okay, and then we call change positions, and this is where we pass the random object. Okay, and that goes through the position array and it adjusts the position of each of the racers. Okay, and then we print out the results from that round, and then we check for a winner. Okay, and so the print around results doesn't look really any different than it did before. If I can find it. Let's see. Yep, this is the round results. So you can see I've got my name array and oh, that's the winner. That's not what we want to look at yet. Oh, here it is, round results. Okay, so round results, I'm displaying the name. I kind of loop through and display the characters that represent how far they have raced, how far they have gone. And that's pretty much what that is doing. Then after we do the round results, we do check for a winner. Okay? And in the check for winner, basically we are seeing if any of the positions, the number that is, stored in there is larger than the ending point. Okay? And if it is, yay, we have a winner. So we set it to true. And then we take our index and make that the winner number. We display the information and we kind of come up here and then we are done. So we go back over here, okay, because that was check for winner. Now the winner is true. Okay, and then we display the results. And the only thing that was different when I coded this, and I wouldn't even call it a problem, but I could not do if not winner. And I will show you what that looks like if you try to do that. I'm going to paste this right back, but I'm going to cut it. So if you do if not winner, it does not like that. Okay, so because this is now, oh, and I would have to put reindeer in front, but it still doesn't like it. Okay, so instead, I just coded it out the long way. Okay, or you're probably thinking, well, that needed to be if reindeer winner. Well, it still doesn't like it. Doesn't matter if you put a not in front of it or or if you just do it like this. It doesn't like it. Okay, so I had to code it the long way. And I really wouldn't even say that that is a problem. It's like a quirk. So as far as the design considerations go, I wanted to make the class one that could be used by any program. And so I took anything that had to do with the game, uh, and adding players to the game, changing positions, printing rounds, printing results, determining the winner. All of that went into the class. Okay? And so then I had to make some adjustments in the code that's in the class and in the code that is in this program. And I actually wrote another program, and you guys don't have to do this, but I want to show you the beauty of classes. So I pulled that same race game into this other program. Okay? And I've got the exact same properties. I did not change a thing. I even have the same colors. And so what I did was I coded up a completely different game. So this is a family picnic three-legged race, totally different than racing reindeers. Okay, and so for the number of contestants, the code is very similar, but for the distance, instead of miles, I have it as yards. And so that coding you can customize because basically you're just storing the ending point. And I mean, it could be meters, it could be inches, it could be yards, whatever you want. Okay. And then you can see I did my arrays. I've got my random object. And then my while loop looks very similar to the reindeer while loop. Okay. And we can actually run this. Okay. How many are racing? Do 4. How many yards? 50. Oops, I think we need to call our people. Let me see where that went. Oh, I get so excited I forgot to add my racers. Okay, we'll add those in. Let me pause here. All right, so I just quickly added the method call for add names and add display character. And we'll do this again. How many racers? 4, 50 yards. Name. Let's see. Mickey, Minnie, Daisy, and Donald. Donald. All right, enter a print character. Mickey, do an M for Minnie, D for Daisy. Here we go. Probably should have chosen more neutral colors, but that's okay. All right, so we're going to race to 50, and actually the winner is Mickey, first person to reach 50. Okay, so you can see that doing the classes is kind of cool because you can actually pull them into other programs, and there's not a whole lot of coding that you have to do in the program if you are using a class. You basically create the class object, you set some properties, and then you call the methods. Okay? And that is exactly what I wanted that class to do.